Greetings, beautiful soul. You are not here by accident. This message has reached you through divine timing. You are being spoken to now because the angels have gathered. They have surrounded you with light, and they have a revelation meant only for you. Feel the warmth around you. That is the energy of divine protection. It is real. It is surrounding you now. Breathe it in. Your heart has carried questions. Some you have spoken aloud. Others you have buried deep. Today, one of them will be answered. This is not just a message. It is an unveiling, a divine disclosure. The angels have watched your journey. They have seen your tears, your growth, your courage. And they want you to know this. You are seen. You are honored. You are never alone. Now hear this sacred truth. Your soulmate's family has had a meeting. Yes, you heard correctly. Their family, in spirit or in flesh, has gathered, and you were the topic. Your name, your essence, your presence. They spoke of you. But this was no ordinary meeting. It was divinely orchestrated. It happened because the time has come for alignment, for peace, for truth. Some of you may not yet know this family. Some of you may have already met them. But this message applies to both paths. Because this meeting occurred in the spiritual field, outside of time, beyond the physical. It is already done. There was concern. Yes, some family members held doubt. They feared change. They worried about losing their bond with your soulmate. But what happened next shifted everything. The angels watched as one by one, hearts softened, eyes opened, old patterns began to dissolve. They saw something in you, something they couldn't explain, an energy that was undeniable. They spoke of your light, your quiet strength, the way you made their loved one glow. They noticed changes in your soulmate's mood, in their confidence, in how they carried themselves. There was a peace they hadn't seen before. Even the skeptics admitted it. Something had shifted. It was you. They remembered how guarded your soulmate used to be, how heavy their heart had been. And now there was laughter again, softness in their eyes. Hope. And that hope had a name. It was yours. One family member spoke up. They were the most resistant at first. But they shared a story. A moment they saw you when you didn't know you were being watched. Maybe it was how you helped someone without expecting anything back. Maybe it was how you looked at your soulmate, with eyes full of respect, not possession. They said, "I saw their heart in action." And just like that, the energy shifted. Your authenticity spoke louder than any performance. Your truth dissolved every doubt. Another family member cried, not from sadness, but because they realized you were the answer to a prayer. One they had spoken years ago, a silent plea. Send someone who will love them right. Now, here you are. They spoke of the little things you do, how you remember their favorite dish, how you ask about the elders' stories, how you laugh at the younger one's jokes. They noticed everything. They saw how you never tried to impress. You simply were yourself. And that was more than enough. It was everything. They spoke of your influence, not just on your soulmate, but on the family itself. One of them said, "She's not just a partner to him. She's healing him. She's healing us." And they were right. You've become a bridge, not a barrier. You've helped reconnect threads that were frayed, helped soothe wounds that were ignored, helped rebuild what was thought to be lost. The angels want you to know. This was seen. This was felt. This was acknowledged. And they made a decision. They chose to release their fears. They chose to open their hearts. They chose to trust love. Because of you, they recognized your integrity, your honesty, your softness, your boundaries. They said, "She's real." And that word echoed in the room. They noticed how you never tried to dominate conversations. You listened. You offered presence. And in doing so, you earned their respect. One said, "I didn't know what to expect, but now I can't imagine anyone better for them." Another whispered, "She sees him. Truly, sees him, the parts even we missed. And they were right. Your soulmate's family realized you weren't a disruption. You were an evolution, not an outsider, a destined piece of the picture." They recalled the times your soulmate came home smiling, how their stress seemed lighter, their spirit brighter. That wasn't coincidence. It was connection. Real, sacred connection. They felt it too, even if they didn't have words for it. Their spirits recognized your spirit. You didn't fit in because you tried. You fit in because you belonged. One said, "She treats him better than we knew how to." Not out of shame, but out of awe. You gave without taking. You loved without control. You offered freedom wrapped in loyalty. The angels smiled, because this is what divine union looks like. They also noticed your grace. When tensions rose, you stayed calm. When misunderstandings happened, you didn't retreat. You held steady, and they realized this is what their beloved needs. Not drama, not noise, not perfection, but presence. They saw the way you accepted their differences, how you honored their traditions, even when they weren't your own. You leaned in with curiosity, not criticism. One elder said, "She respects our ways, but still walks her own." And that earned you a place in their heart. They admired how you held space, letting them come to you instead of demanding closeness, letting them warm to you at their own pace. And because of that, they did. The angels showed them what they couldn't see before, that the same light guiding their loved one is guiding you too. They felt your soul's echo, and it matched theirs, not in appearance, but in essence. They understood. You're not just good for their loved one. You are of them, a mirror, a match, a miracle. The conversation turned to legacy, to values, to future. And every concern they raised, the angels had already prepared your answers in your daily life. Your actions already spoke, your soul already demonstrated. You are not here to convince, you are here to be. And that has been more than enough. They said, "She's already family." Not because of a wedding ring, but because of energy, frequency, heart. The family saw how your relationship holds purpose, not just pleasure. How you inspire growth, not comfort alone. How you challenge each other in love, not ego. They realized you're not just loving their child, sibling, or cousin. You're partnering with a soul for something greater. The angels affirm, this union is divine. It is sacred. It is protected. You are not an accident. You are an answer. They remembered their own stories, the love they lost, the love they gave up on, and they looked at you, and they saw courage, because loving deeply requires courage. And you've shown that. The angels showed them how you never forced anything. You didn't chase acceptance. You welcomed it when it came. And because of that, it came sincerely. They saw the way you uplift your soulmate. You speak life into their dreams. You nurture their confidence. You reflect their beauty back to them. When they forget it, you've become their mirror. Divine one that doesn't distort, one that reveals. The family talked about your presence, that calming aura, the feeling of safety when you walk into a room, the kind that's hard to describe but easy to feel. They admitted that no one, before you ever brought that peace. Not in this way. They even talked about your silence. Yes, your silence. How you sit in quiet without tension. How you don't need to fill the space to be felt. That alone taught them something about depth, about intimacy. The angels remind you now. You don't need to prove your value. You embody it. In that meeting, the family asked questions. Some had been unspoken for years. Questions like, will they be safe with you? Will you protect their heart? Will you stay when things aren't easy? And though you didn't answer with words, your actions already have. They spoke of how you showed up during hard times, times when it would have been easy to step back. But you stepped in, they saw that, and they remembered it. They noticed how you celebrated their loved ones' smallest wins, how you honored their low days without judgment, how you created space for both strength and vulnerability. That's not common, that's sacred. You gave your soulmate a new way to feel loved, a way they hadn't experienced before, and it awakened something in them, something ancient, something necessary. The angels confirm. This awakening is part of your mission. You didn't just arrive in their life. You were sent. The family acknowledged that. They might not use words like divine, timing, or soul contracts, but they felt it, and they trusted it. Even the ones who were hesitant, they've changed, softened, opened. One family member said, she doesn't try to change him, but he's changing anyway, because of her love. Another added, I see the man he's becoming, and I like him even more now. And all eyes turned to you, not physically, but energetically. You were seen. You were honored. They remembered how their loved one used to hide parts of themselves, how they used to shrink or armor up. But now, those walls are falling. There is safety. There is space. You've created that. And for that, they thank you. The angels whisper, do you feel it now? The recognition, the acknowledgement, the truth settling into your bones. Let go of the doubt. Release the fear. You are not intruding. You are integrating. Your soul was known by theirs before you arrived. There was a knowing, an echo, a promise. They spoke of future plans, what life will look like with you in it. They didn't speak of if anymore. They spoke of when. You are no longer a question mark. You are an exclamation point. They envisioned holidays with you, vacations, birthdays, ordinary dinners that feel extraordinary because you're there. They imagined grandchildren, shared homes, dreams coming to life. Your name came up in stories about the future. That's how you know they've accepted you. Not just tolerated, embraced. They no longer talk about your differences with discomfort. They talk about your uniqueness with admiration. You've expanded their vision of what love can look like. You've made them reconsider what they thought they knew. One said, she challenges him, but gently. She leads, but with heart. That is divine feminine in motion. That is divine balance. They also acknowledged how you respect your own family. Whether those bonds are strong or strained, they noticed your effort, your grace, your loyalty. They said, if she treats us like that, we're blessed. And they are. Because you don't just love one person. You love through them, into the family, into the generations. The angels want you to hear this clearly. You've broken cycles, healed patterns, elevated the vibration of not just your relationship, but their entire bloodline. That is no small thing. They may not have said all this to your face, but in their gathering, it was all said, and it was real, and it was sacred. The angels now place a blessing over you, a golden light of recognition, a divine kiss of truth. Let it wash over you. Let it clear the residue of past rejections. Let it soften the places that were bracing for judgment, because now you know. You are accepted. You are celebrated. You are chosen. Chosen by your soulmate. Seen by their family. Acknowledged by the divine. This is part of your destiny. It was written before you met. It was woven through lifetimes. It is now being fulfilled. Your presence is not an accident. It's an answer to their prayers, and to your own. Type belong in the comments if your heart feels this truth. If your soul is remembering now, if your breath just got easier. Because this is divine timing. And you are right on time. You may have wondered, what do they think of me when I'm not in the room? The angels answer, they think of you with growing respect. They talk about you more than you know, not just your name, but your heart. They say things like, she's real, he's steady. They bring peace. And that's what you've done. You've brought peace, not just to your partner, but to a whole family system. You've softened hardened places, opened closed doors, lit corners they were afraid to enter. They didn't expect that. Some were afraid of your differences. The unknown can make people defensive. But you didn't push. You didn't try to prove. You allowed time to do its work. And it did. Time revealed your soul. Time showed them who you really are, and now they trust what they see. They've realized your love is not loud, but it's constant. Not dramatic, but dependable. Not showy, but sacred. That's the kind of love that lasts. The angels show me that. One family member, someone you thought disliked you, has become your quiet defender. In your absence, they've spoken up for you. They've named your virtues. They've called out your goodness, not because they were asked to, because they wanted to. They saw something, and they couldn't stay silent anymore. Another family member, one with a lot of emotional influence, they changed their tune. They began telling others, she brings out the best in him. And that sentiment caught on. What started as doubt has become delight. They watch you more closely now, not with suspicion, but with awe. They see how you hold your soulmate's gaze, how your eyes say, I see you, all of you, and that gaze, that look, has healed more than you know. You've helped your soulmate come home to themselves, and the family sees it. They feel it. They've started to trust it. They even shared memories, stories of your soulmate's past, moments that made them who they are. And they wondered aloud, would she understand this side of him? Then, someone said, she already does. That's why he feels so safe. You've made their loved one feel understood. Not just loved, understood. That's rare, and it's divine. The angels confirm this. Understanding is one of your soul's gifts. It's how you heal. It's how you connect. It's why you're here. You listen deeper than words. You hear what hearts say. You respond with presence, and that presence changes people. The family has started to soften in ways they didn't expect. Some of them have reconnected with each other because of you, because your energy reminded them what love looks like when it's pure. They've begun to examine their own relationships, their own communication, their own fears, because you've mirrored something they forgot was possible. They've seen how you let your soulmate lead, but never disappear. How you step back when needed, but never withdraw. How you stand firm, but never force. That balance. It's divine. It's rare. It's real, and they respect it. They also talked about your touch. Yes, your touch. How you place a hand on your partner's back or gently fix something without a word. They see those moments. They read their meaning. They say, that's not performance, that's presence. And presence is sacred. They spoke of how you protect your soulmate's spirit. Not with walls, but with tenderness. Not with rules, but with consistency. They feel that devotion, and it speaks volumes. The angels remind you now. Love like this changes bloodlines. It heals generational trauma. It reweaves what was unraveled. You've done that. Without loud declarations. Without grand gestures. Just by being who you are. They acknowledged how you've made space for the past without being trapped by it. You've honored their stories without erasing your own. They said, she didn't try to replace anyone. She brought her own chair to the table. And that humility, that confidence, that knowing has given them peace. They recognize how you let things unfold, how you never rushed the bond, how you didn't demand acceptance. You let love open the door, and it did. They see your capacity for forgiveness, even when hurt, even when misunderstood. They've seen you choose grace, and that choice has softened their edges. They respect your ability to apologize, to take accountability, to grow without defensiveness. That maturity, it's rare. It's leadership in disguise. It's wisdom in action. They now see you as a guidepost, not just to their loved one, but to them. You've taught them what love looks like without saying a word. Your soulmate's family has stopped asking, "Is she the one?" They've started saying, "We are blessed to have her." They see the way you've changed their beloved, not with pressure, but with permission. Permission to be soft, to be honest, to be whole. You've helped your soulmate reclaim their inner child, their voice, their joy, and that is divine. They've begun to smile when they say your name. Their tone has changed, their eyes soften, their energy opens. That is what healing does. That is what your love has done. The angels want you to remember this. You were sent to do this. You were chosen for this. This isn't random. This is soul work, and you're doing it beautifully. Even if no one's told you, even if you felt unsure, even if the past held pain, the present holds truth. And the truth is this: you are deeply, divinely welcome. You are not an outsider. You are an answer. Type truth in the comments if your soul feels this, if your heart is steadying, if something inside you is whispering, "Yes, this is for me," because it is. This isn't just about romance. This is about restoration, of lineage, of love, of self. You are part of a greater healing, and the angels are proud of you. They see the effort you've made, the times you bit your tongue to keep peace, the times you showed up even when it hurt, the times you forgave what you didn't deserve. All of it is seen, and all of it is sacred. They know it now. They feel it now, and that feeling is changing everything. They talked about your loyalty, how even when things were uncertain, you didn't waver. You stood still in love. You didn't flinch. You didn't flee. That kind of steadiness is rare, and they trust it now. You've earned that trust, not with promises, but with presence. You didn't come to fix their family. You came to love one person. But through that love, the family is being restored, even if slowly, even if quietly. The angels want you to know you are walking a path that few are strong enough to walk, the path of the healer, the harmonizer, the bridge, and bridges are often stepped on until people realize they are sacred ground. You are sacred ground. They noticed how you adapt, not by shrinking, not by performing, but by listening, by learning, by choosing what aligns. You keep your essence, even as you embrace theirs. That integrity is rare, and it's respected. They noticed how you never compete for attention. You just give love and let it speak for itself. And it did. It spoke louder than any words could. You've changed how they define strength. They used to think it was being hard, being loud, being dominant. Now they see strength in your gentleness, in your patience, in your restraint. You've shown them strength is in the stillness, not the storm. They observed how you handle disagreement, how you don't lash out, how you pause, how you stay in the room, and they whispered, "That's the kind of love that lasts." They've begun to refer to you differently now, not as her, but our girl, not as his person, but our person. The angels smile at this shift, because it's real and it matters. You may not see it yet, but doors are opening, hearts are softening, old energy is lifting, and you are the catalyst. This is why the angels sent you, not just for companionship, but for alignment, You've been placed in this family line because your soul carries medicine that theirs needed. And now they've begun to take the dose. Even if they don't know it, they're healing. Because you're present. Because you're willing. Because you're love. They see the way your soulmate talks to you. The way their tone softens. Their words deepen. Their eyes shine. They know. They know what this means. They know it's not a phase. They know it's not just chemistry. It's calling, and you answered it. The family is now starting to respond to that call too. They are saying yes. Yes to love. Yes to growth. Yes to you. One of them even said, "She's making us better just by being in the picture." And you are. You are not just part of the story. You are part of the healing, of their loved one, of the lineage, of the legacy. You've been chosen, not just by your partner, but by the divine, to do this, to be this, to hold this sacred role. The angels say, you've done it with grace, even when it was hard, even when it was lonely, even when you weren't sure. You kept showing up, and that's what changed everything. The family feels it, the shift, the calm, the renewal, and they thank you. Even if not yet with words, their souls are already saying it. Thank you for loving them. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for showing us how it's done. Your love is a light, and that light is illuminating the whole house, not just one room. Keep shining, keep being, keep loving. The angels walk with you. Every step, every word, every breath, type light. In the comments, if your soul knows this is your path, if you feel the truth, if you're ready to keep going with the angels by your side,